Just over 3 weeks to go, don't panic. And there is a new trailer online. It's only a minute and 25 seconds long, but still 10 minutes doesn't seem like enough time to cover everything. But I think it's a very intentional marketing decision by Disney to release a shorter trailer. So I think that this trailer is basically just a reminder to people that, hey, Indiana Jones is not the only movie coming out in May. So just kind of a last minute reminder. And hey, this still might be a super trailer, so, don't be too disappointed by this. But, so yeah, there aren't really any juicy spoilers in this one. There's just some new visual effects shots, some new great shots to talk about. But so let's get started. And first off, if you watch the version on MySpace, it's official. The movie has been rated PG. And watching this trailer, I'm really not sure how. Like watching Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, like watching the trailers for that, I never doubted it was going to be PG. And I mean, just a lot of people were saying, "How are they going to make this PG?" And I never, looking at the footage, said, "Yeah, it doesn't look that intense. It looks PG." But I look at this one, I say, "How do they make this PG?" Evidently, they did. But they really, certainly pushing the limits on that one. So I'll be very curious to see how far they're able to go with it. But let's get going. And some of these visual effects shots look updated. Nice lighting.
What happened here?
Seen that shot before. Still looks cool.
You may find Narnia a more savage place than you remember.
Yeah, that looked kind of intense right there for PG, Caspian swinging in there. And the werewolf looks freaking scary. Like, I gotta say, the first few shots we've seen of the werewolf, I was not impressed at all. I thought he looked pretty fake. And Howard Berger, I'm sorry for ever doubting you, but he looks awesome here. He looks terrifying. Like, I watched this, and immediately, I really hope they have that line in from the book where it's, I can drink a river of blood and not burst. Show me your enemies. That whole thing. That line just gives me chills in the book. Hope they have that. But the werewolf looks really scary, and they're really, really, really happy what they've done with him. 1,300 years
Who
later
are
for
you?
Narnia.
I am Prince
Caspian,
Caspian.
the famous line. And then there's the dancing lawn. You look over there, you can see that there's some mice, and apparently led by Reepicheep. And I think one of the changes they've apparently made that we know from storybooks and stuff is that the Narnians are more reluctant to accept Caspian, which I think is an okay change because they don't really have, because they're cutting their, for cinematic reasons. I think they're cutting out a lot of Caspian's early backstory, like with Dr. Cornelius and stuff, sort of establishing that Narnia might be in hiding, and if you believe in old Narnia, you could be in trouble. So the Narnians have been in hiding and persecuted and stuff, and so we haven't really had a chance to see any of that. So it seems nice to accept the fact that, yeah, obviously they would be very reluctant to accept, someone from the Telmarines, and so just since we don't really have a chance to see how Narnia is, being oppressed and persecuted, this is just, kind of good indicator of that. But this is, by the way, is the very, very first set I visited. It was only like half finished, if that. It was a concrete floor and only had a couple trees. But so very cool to see the finished product right here. That drone reminds me of Return of the King. Shot of it going around there.
You were right.
You just kind of
Feared me.
Everything you know.
good cinematography. As far as I'm concerned, the most exciting thing about this shot is it's got the bulgy bear sucking his paws in the background, which is just one of those little funny things from the book. I'm in a dark film like this. I hope it's just as funny and cute as it is in the book. But very cool to see bulgy bear sucking his paws. I hope you get a good laugh out of that.
Is about to change.
And I think the visual effects look kind of fake here. It's a pretty cool shot going really gives you the sense of impact, But I think they look kind of fake. And the movie supposedly is supposed to be finished within a few days of me recording this, by the way. And so you got to assume that those are probably finished. It looks kind of fake to me. Most of the rest of the trailer looks pretty good, I guess. But it looked a little bit better when I saw it in high definition. But right here, it just looks kind of fake to me. Maybe hopefully when I see it on the big screen. But it's a really cool shot, that's for sure. They touched up that shot a little. And then you've got, I feel a little bit better about the White Witch scene now. I still am very concerned about the changes they made to Caspian's character, more than anything else. It's not so much that they're trying to bring the White Witch back that's bad, it's just Caspian going along with it that really has me concerned. So I'm very uncomfortable with the scene still. But, cinematically, artistically speaking, it's kind of a cool image since they've at this point in the movie have kind of lost faith in Aslan. To see the ice kind of going over Aslan, it's kind of a cool image. But so still uncomfortable with the scene, but it is kind of a neat image, cinematically. Very cool that giant Wimbleweather is going to get some action because Rumblebuffin, literally only got one shot in the movie. So I'm hoping he'll have a bigger role at the battle, and hopefully apparently he'll get more than 2 seconds of screen time. I think just in the trailer, Wimbleweather has more screen time than Rumblebuffin did in the first movie. So I think that's a pretty good indicator. And I gotta say, and it's not in the book, but I'm really looking forward to the night raid. Like I said before, I don't think it's that big of a change. I mean, just the fact that they attacked the castle is not that big of a change. They did have battles in the book. The only real change is that it's at the castle and the Pevensies are there. That, as far as the battle goes, that's the biggest change they've made. But like watching footage of the melting river scene in trailers for Wardrobe, I was not looking forward to it at all. I thought it looked terrible, and it did turn out. I think I hated the melting river scene. But watching scenes from the night raid, I think it looks like it's going to be not that big of a change from the book, and I think it's going to be a really cool scene. In general, I think that when they make big changes from the book like that, if it's artistically well done, like it's a well done scene, then I think it's easier to forgive it. I didn't think the melting river scene, it wasn't just for adaptation reasons that I didn't like it. Like adaptation, not a big problem. I thought it was really poorly acted and pretty cheesy and over the top. But the night raid I think looks really really cool, and so that just makes it even easier for me to forgive what was already not that big of a change. So really looking, I'm usually not focusing on the action sequences. Like Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, I really didn't care that much about the battle before the movie came out. But I'm really looking forward to the night raid and the single combat in this one. I think those are going to be great scenes. And I'm still not sure about introducing Aslan, which is what it looks like they've done, like in an action way where he rescues Lucy here. It doesn't seem like Aslan to intervene physically in that way. Like he rarely does that in the Chronicles in that way. And so I like the more emotional the way he's introduced in the book, and that it's Aslan, and it seems like it could be kind of a poor excuse for another action scene. On the other hand, it could also make Aslan more fierce, and I felt like me and a lot of other fans, I felt that Aslan was too tame in the first movie, and so this might be a way to let's have Aslan eat a Telmarine, but it doesn't seem very Aslan-esque to me. I can understand why this might be needed. It makes Aslan less of a tame lion, and why it could be a good thing, but I'm also kind of uncomfortable with it, so we'll see how it turns out. And there's the ice breaking, no sign of Edmund. In other reports, they've talked about how Edmund supposedly breaks the ice, so I guess to be reminiscent of when he breaks the witch's wand in the first movie, but no sign of Edmund here. And it looks like it's Glazelle on the bridge there. And once again, how are they going to do this PG? I'm not sure. Is he going to pick up the bridge and throw it? We'd seen that in the poster, of course, and we heard about it. And I think it's kind of cool. Obviously, it's a change from the book. In the book, they're not on the bridge at all when it gets washed away. And I'm not really sure why they even need a bridge. Why can't the Telmarines just walk across it? But the way they're doing the River God, I think, seems pretty cool. I think once again, the Pauline Baines idea probably would have been better. It's kind of neat, and wonder what's he going to do with Glazelle. And I really hope that Prince Caspian isn't just, they beat him on the battlefield and that's it. I think that'd be too brutal. In the book, it's a little bit more than that. Like, they don't just win the battle. They also, kind of win the Telmarines over in a way. It's like they kind of, win over their hearts. It's not just the fact that they beat them. Like Aslan makes them peace and makes that deal and everything. And a lot of the Telmarines immediately are delighted that the old days have returned, And so I'm really hoping that it's not purely just that they won the battle is the reason. I know there's a Narnia Weber I talked to a lot that's a really big deal to him. And yeah, I do think that's important, that it not just be a military victory.
The Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian.
But overall thoughts on the trailer, it doesn't really change my opinion on the movie that much. It's just kind of a montage, and most of the shots you've seen, a few we haven't. But the new shots, as far as the look and the cinematography, once again, just I think mind blowing. It doesn't really. It makes me even more eager to see the movie, which is going to be in just over 3 weeks. And so opinion on the movie hasn't really changed that much, but it's still a really cool trailer.